Okay, good morning, everyone. So, nothing really changed from the last report or the last post that I did yesterday. In yesterday's post, I talked about seeing one more low for for SPX or US 500. SPX actually did make a new low yesterday, while US 500 did not. So, the way I was looking at it, is that if this is a wave 4, it could be looked into two ways. Like, it could be an B, and then a C, still a flat, a kind of very extended flat with this 3% drop, but still a flat, right? So that is where, if this is a flat, 4, then there is a wave 5 pending, right, which can start building up from today or next week onwards, if today even stay a little choppy, 5877 or so, or below 559, something like that, right? So this was the expectation. We got that dip overnight. PC data comes in favor. It's not hot. It's cooler than expected, which is good, right? So the expectation would be, if there is a divergence being created here, which is expected out of this wave 5 dip, then there at least should be an attempt to trace this move. So when we say attempt to trace this move, even if, let's say, we are wrong, this was not a flat move, then we are looking at least a retracement back to 5931. Could be, let's say, if we retrace in a form fashion of ABC, could be this A, B, and then C, or something like that. I would like to get to the 6,000 point, or in fact 6030, when you look into US 500 at least, right? If not new high, though new high still remains my preferred approach, but at least a retracement. If this was a 5 wave down, let's say I'm counting it wrong as an ABC, and this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that case, we are looking at ABC up, and we should be somewhere in the vicinity of 6,000. Before we start next week down. Let's say it's even further bearish case, and the retracement are gonna be very shallow up, right? We should not take it for granted, though we are kind of heading into a low volume week. Center rally is an expectation. Seasonality is there. Nothing changed fundamentally too much. I would not assume so, but even in the worst case, if we start looking at worst bearish cases, 61% retracement come nearest to that 6,000 point that I talked about. 50% is 5947, and below that is minimum. At least 38% comes to that area where we were trading yesterday, either 5931 or 5912 or something like that, right? So these are at least the retracement points. I think we should go and test 5931 first when we start retracing. Let's see how the structure is forming, and and then we'll have another higher low. Or is it weak to make just a bearish flag next week and hardly reach into 5931? I don't suspect that's the case, but something to keep in mind. If the action is too choppy and we're just making a flag and all that, then we will keep our options open, and not to build up too many longs or something like that, just to stay caution on that one. But that's at least where I would want it to test, that at least in this area we trace back. Though my first preference, like I said, stays that we go back all the way to that 6200 plus mark before these 5 waves complete, which we have marked it here: 1, 2, a 3, and a 4. And this was in a different way, another flat wave consideration, that since this rally after the election, and this was a 3 wave move, and 3 wave move does not make sense to end the a wave count. So probably the B went higher, and if this is a 5 wave down, this is potentially a C of this whole 4. That's another aspect that we needed to kind of keep in mind, that though even if that was not an ABC, it was a 5 wave drop. This 5 wave drop could be a C leg of this flat 4, right? Again, saying that it takes us back to the point of new high and getting to 6200 plus, right? That sort of thing, and then after that we can retrace. We can retrace as much as 5600 or lower and all that. We'll get into that when that starts. But at least getting into January, next 2 to 3 weeks, kind of would like to see this 5-6% of the upside, before we call it top and say, oh yeah, now we are kind of ready to drop, right? So that's about SPX. And reviewing US 100 at this point, if you see, it kind of ticked right into the support which I talked from QQQ point. When I talked about QQQ, I talked about 503 in the post, and that's where it kind of landed. If you see, this was the green path that I defined, that if we don't bounce and we come right down, we come right down into this 503 area. It kind of came very close to the 505 number. And the way I shared to look into it is that maybe I don't want to count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I just want to count it as A, B, and C. That a zigzag move came in wave 4, and it kind of completed my wave 4 right here, right? So if my wave 4, now there is a difference between SPX and QQQ. If you see, in the larger scheme of things, let me put these two together, because the rally was um, being driven by the tech. um, the wave count was a bit different. So if you see how the you know after the election, the count is a little different. Whereas my three top is here on SPX, and I'm looking at this wave as an A, B, and a C, a kind of an expanded flat. Here, my three is marked right at the top. It's not where it came before, right here, and then I'm calling this as an I'm not calling this point as a B here at the QQQs. I'm still calling that as a three, which means this drop in itself, if this was a zigzag ABC like I was sharing, that could have just marked the completion of the wave 4 as well. That was my point in the Substack, where I shared that if it goes directly to 503, 504 area, I would be looking at a completion and saying that okay, my zigzag got completed right here at 503, and now I'm ready to kind of push up for that last wave 5 that I'm looking at to get into this 555, 560 sort of an area, another 8-9% kind of a move from here, right? So whatever has been discussed or thought about, I've since yesterday, I think it's playing for that. I do not see a change to that for now. And for the next week or so, this is what we are going to track. We are going to track, like I said, my expectations, if not new high, is at least is to touch 6,000 on SPX, and for QQQ, that number would be somewhere in this range, above 526 to 533. I mean, those are 6,000 and 526 or 533 is the retracement number. But first preference is to kind of make a new high, right? So those are about QQQ and US 500. And let me switch back here. Now looking at the Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum did drop into our demand, which we were talking about, that we wanted to buy 3,200. It did in fact drop into 3,100, but that was a little earlier when I got up. It was somewhere around 3,220 or something like that. That's where I picked up some Ethereum. So looks good so far. If this demand is holding, then we are gonna potentially see an attempt to make another high. Another high could be crossing 4135. I don't know if it'll go to 48 or not, but if I see, that was my previous top. So if I'm able to break above this particular zone where I said the rejection will happen around 50, 4140, and it rejected when 3,100. Now, if it breaks, there is a chance that we can get into somewhere around 4,500, and if above that, it's 4,800, right? Kind of make a double top there. and then we'll just go from there. On the Bitcoin side, expectation was that it'll hit 90K or below, but so far it just did a double bottom at where the previous liquidation stopped right at 90 to 198 and then started moving back up, right? So that's where I was saying that start buying here at around 94K when we were just talking, and if it starts dipping a little lower, then potentially we can add, right? So our good limit is like, okay, if it comes to 86K, is certainly a full position kind of a place, but here is where we can put started, just buying. Will it give another low like this? I don't know yet. Let's see what happens. But again, if this is a wave four going, I mean, it may take some time and may give us another low. But if this is a wave four, then we are looking at a wave five somewhere getting into 150, 117K range, right? So another 20% kind of a move here that can help stocks like coin. If this was a 38% move and coin actually bounced quite a bit from the drop in the morning. So the way I was looking at it is that, first 274 was a great support. And if I looked into this whole move from, this low to the high, my 38%, which is very common for wave 4, was coming at around 260, and I kind of tested and just bounced. What it needs to do is it needs to recapture this area about 275, and make a engulfing candle here, and then probably start moving the next wave up. Not a very high expectation from the next wave, other than just making another high at 370 or so. So another $100 from here if Bitcoin stabilizes here and starts pushing up. Coin can push up and give us that fifth wave high. That would be my potential top for coin, and then after that, retracement can start. Can be somewhere into this range or something else, and of course, Bitcoin is going to correct as well. It's not going to $1 million like Sailor keeps saying every day, right? So if we are looking at a correction, if my five waves are completing somewhere there, I'll be looking at some good correction into this area about 65K or maybe into some 50K, in the coming period. So we'll see about that, what to do, but for now, on a smaller like next 3-4 weeks period, this is what we want to see to make a new high, and yeah, that would be about Bitcoin. Let me see. Is there any other question that you have, or any question that you had on what I shared? I covered it. Yeah. Okay. Is that clear, or any questions as such? Okay. Do we want to cover something else? Ah, long list. Let's cover Dodge there. TSLA. I was not even watching Dodge for a very long period. Let me just stop. Yeah, it has not even gone into the extension that I would expect. It just made a double top here, got rejected. But I still would like to see an attempt to kind of test above it once more again. Not necessarily, go this high as marked as $1, but if we can get something like this, that would I think would be all right as well. So spend some time here. Mark this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Mark the wave 3, 4, and 5. But these, altcoins will have their own different challenge. If Bitcoin is gonna top somewhere, I don't know how much rally we can get in, these as of now, right? So we'll see about that. But on the other side, if you see it, it's a nice cup. Maybe it'll make a handle somewhere here and then pop up right above where it closes at the end to $1 when it makes the wave 5, right? So that can happen. XRP, let's just see it. XRP. XRP. Oh. Yeah, so just consider this that this is gonna be your resistance point for XRP. It's already above the previous liquidity zone. So my quick point on this one would be if it's holding above 1.96, it can certainly go and touch 3.33 once more. I don't expect a breakout to happen from there, even if it was an attempt, a test of this one. It's gonna fail and drop down and start consolidating back lower again. Let's see, FGO. FGO, I think, tested the earnings gap. Let's enable only regular trading hours. And yeah, so FGO actually tested, I think, around 213 or 214 or something like that in the pre-market. Let's see. Yeah, somewhere around 212. So it's a gap that that kind of opened up after the earnings, right, in the cash session. So it kind of tested that, and for now, no change. I think we have a nice breakout coming here, so should see it coming to 2 to 7, and somewhere here. So first point of resistance will be 2 to 7.62. I think we did some average here somewhere in this range as well. So let's see if it can run into this. We probably would be able to book some profits. And the next one will come here at 233, right? So that's how FGO looks. So far, I think it's fine. Even if I look into this as a 5 wave down, we are looking at some retracement coming back into 233. So it should be fine. And that answers your question for FGO. And if this is something called, maybe a complex correction that happened with the WX, the YXZ, then a new high. But at least for our options perspective, I will look to book somewhere around 2 to 7 or 233, right? Something like that. Not keeping like a target of a new high, at least for my options. Will I take partial profits on SPXL? Yeah, 59.30 may give a certain drop, right? And we do want to kind of take out some of it and then see how it progresses further. But let's see the formation. Let's see how the day goes today before we make any decision. It's just a little too early at this point. SMH. SMH is complex, as I keep saying, as it's still kind of trying to contain within that 237, 230 range. So the way I was looking at it in multiple, perspective was now. Here's one thing that we need to kind of understand, right? If I'm saying that a new high or a retracement on indexes will be it will be kind of marking the top and then we'll have a retracement. I cannot have semis do a 1 2 and then keep rallying upwards, right? So I would not keep that as my base case, that it's kind of a leading diagonal starting and then wave 3 will come and it'll keep going up and up and up and all that. I think we should be living with the fact that it's some sort of a B wave as of now. And when I say B wave, I say that this was my A drop and this is my B. Now, can this B make another attempt at 261 or maybe at 283? Yeah, that's possible because B can take over various different formations. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes along and tries to touch 261 again, or just keep chopping or something like that, right? Or even if something's reversed, let's say if Nvidia has to make a new high still, then it goes and touches 281 as well, right? So, but still, I don't expect new highs to come on SMH. Consider this as a B wave, and then when the indexes will start correcting, we'll have the C wave down as well. So that is where a good opportunity to get into SMH will be when this whole job gets clear. We get the decline back into this whole fourth wave, and then we can talk about the new rally post that, right? So let it stay where it is, let it chop. I do not intend to kind of increase the longs then, other than what we have in NVDA and probably FGO options. Let's see what rest of the thing does, and for today, and we'll just go from there, right? But not really looking at breaking the previous highs at this point of time. Anything else? Nvidia. All right. Well, Nvidia, the story remains same. 127 is being protected, but haven't seen the. Now that's what I was saying. That SMH, if Nvidia goes for a new rally, doesn't mean SMH will get into the new highs. SMH is way below that, right? So it can do a double top or something like that, but not a new high. So still a B wave to what I explained before. Now Nvidia, it keeps bouncing from 127. Still want to see a five wave move, crossing above 135 again, like it did on the other day, but it got rejected at the resistance, and then it made a new low, right? So it was creating a nice wave structure, got pushed down. I still want to see it break above 135, 136 to say that, okay, now we are looking at this as an ABC completion, and we are looking at the new highs. If this does not give us a that sort of information, then probably it's just kind of doing another chop where I may start looking at that's a worst case scenario, that this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? A five wave drop, at least call it as a leading diagonal. We may have some move here into 143, but post that, once indexes make the top as well of wave 5, which we're talking about, we're gonna see a decline, right? So this will give you a leading wave 1, a 2, and then a wave 3 starting down, or wave 3 or wave C, whatever, right? But another wave starting down. So have to keep this in mind, that okay, 127 is the base, and the high could be as limited as 144 if this does not go for a wave 5, right? So look at the structure. That's why we are holding NVDL. 127 close stays as the stop loss for that, and because below 127 things can accelerate downwards straightforward. It doesn't even have to go down, right? So that's the risk that we have with Nvidia, right? So let's see what happens. Tesla, sure, let's cover Tesla. Well, somebody yesterday asked about the buy area for Tesla, and we talked about this range about 404 or 4, yeah, 404 I think is what I said. And I was just looking at a retest back onto these previous highs, right? So this was somewhere around 410-ish or something like that. So it dipped even a level below this four. I think 402, 403 maybe was the low in the morning. I didn't check yet. Let's see. I was somewhere in okay, 410, 409 range, right? So as long as this holds, it's possible that the wave three is not yet in, which means we get this one more high, somewhere in the 500 range or something like that. Complete this wave three, and then the wave four decline starts. And wave four decline would be somewhere around in this 360 area, is what I'm thinking. If the wave three is in, then we'll not see a new high, but we'll just chop and probably test 460-ish, and then start dropping towards this target of 360, right? So we do want to see this wave four. This is where a good buy can happen based on where it broke out from. This is your demand level, right? That you want it to fall into, and go for longs for another high, later on, right? But for now, like I said, there is an option as long as hold 410. First is to go towards 460. Trades above, there is an opportunity to even make a new high. The three will move here, but eventually, I'm still looking at this to drop back to 360. So for those who don't want to risk buying here for the small move up, can simply just wait for it to come back to 360, and then it goes up. It goes up and almost kind of has a 50-60% upside potential from there. Okay, cool. Let me take a short break, and let's see how market opens. It's still not recovered fully, so let's see what happens. All right, see you in a bit. Thank you, everyone.